Alright guys, well thanks for joining in, just got that sorted out. So, everyone's been looking at much else. I'll start with our favourite. Let's have a look. What's that on there, Kevin? I can't see what... Oh, gold, ignore me. What time frame is that on? $5 minutes, okay. Let's have a look. I mean, yeah, I must admit, it's not particular. I tend not to look at patterns and things too much on the lower time frames, because you know they're just not as clear, because you know you could then draw from here to here. You know, it's almost just trying to force something really. And what I'm looking at when I said in terms of a sort of a wedge, rather than sort of a physical one, which I'll draw it out just so that it's clearer for everyone to see. But is this, we just haven't really been able to hold above this region here, and the way the price action is moving is it's sort of building this, which, as much as it's sort of, I know that you could draw that, it's just not very true, because it's a bit lower really, but it has held above. Is I can just see that we need to break and hold above this area, and because price action is getting squeezed in, what we see happen most of the time is that this just goes, pushes straight back up and out. So what we sort of expect to happen in this instance is maybe another one, and then we should see a big push that pushes it above, and then either come back down to the top, the sort of 65 area, which is where the sort of resistance is building, or to the back end of this at 64, and then carry on pushing up. How far we don't know, but that's what I'm kind of expecting. We have got some other things in the way, which we'll highlight as we break this down now. But that's what I mean. Yeah, much as, you know, I just wouldn't put it in physically because it's not really a true wedge. But I can just see from looking at that price is building up to it. You know, we may just see this drop down. It may not break above there, and it may just sink. We are going to have to wait and see what happens to that. But it is a case that you know, we've got to let it show us what it's going to do. But my bias is bullish. As you know, this morning, the first buy this morning was actually here down at 54. You know, we had this big sell down, the RSI oversold, had this reversal candle, and I thought, you know what, I've still got a bullish bias, sorry. And as I mentioned, you know, I should be waiting for it to cross over and wait for the retest of the 20, but I was just so confident in that move upwards that I let it run on, and pulled it out literally at the 4-hour 50, which is literally just up here, and it pulled back, which was nice, and then again got back in for the run up. I must admit, only sort of got 30 odd pips. I didn't take the whole move to the top. There was a nice trade nonetheless, and yeah, now I've just been looking for that chance to get back in. I mean, I nearly bought back here, but yeah, I just thought with that momentum it could be coming back down. I was sort of hoping to get a 50 retest again, but we haven't had that either. But it's just been pushing up. Now to look on the higher time frames, the daily doesn't really give much away. I mean, like this morning when I bought, we was all the way down here. It looked like we was about to sort of engulf and carry on going. But I just could see it was a bit of a fake move, and it was pulling back. And we wanted, after that day and week last week, it looked like it needed to move to the upside, and didn't quite reach the daily 20. Which, if we go on to the weekly, you will see that we are holding the weekly 20, but we're sort of getting pushed to the upside. This is, again, it's sort of higher lows, but not breaking up to the upside. So this is where it's sort of building up a bit of pressure and should push up. This week, if we get a nice close above, then we should be on target for that 1480 level, where there's been plenty of support and resistance. Back on these lower time frames, we're sort of broken back up above the 50, which is where I've sort of come out of the first trade. Pushed up nicely above there, but just not breaking and holding above this sort of 65 region. So let's see what it does. It may pull back a bit again now, and maybe do a move shortly. It's definitely one to watch out for in the near term. These last few hours have just been consolidating, getting smaller. So I do really expect to see some kind of move. Might be to the downside, but there's a move coming for sure. As this 20 crosses 200, this is where if we do get a pullback to it, it's going to be a nice entry long. And 61.50 level will be a nice long. Give you 40 pips just up to the highs. So plenty of that one. But I do like the look of the longs. That's obviously a new month. So nothing to really count for on there. Last month was a bit bearish, but it just didn't break down to the lower part of this channel. So seems to have found some good support here. So I shall continue looking for the longs. And one other one I'm going to highlight quickly before we move on to any others is one was it? A lot of these have got some nice candles. So you've got this Aussie Chuff. This is of interest. So this one we looked at last week, and we saw that we'd had a push down. We've had a sort of a nice slow push up to it, which is great. Lined up with the fibs, and now it's done a sort of fake move to the upside and broke back down, and I'm sort of expecting to see this push down. So what I want to see on a lower time frame is the good old breakout strategy. Is this 4 hour push down, pull back up, and then really continue down. But where we would like to see it go is a bit further. So for it to line up with that, I want to see it kind of test these sort of lows, which lines up here. So I want to see it come down 67500, thereabouts, and then pull back up, and then continue to the downside is the move I'm looking for there. We could target the daily 20, which is actually above, so ignore that. We'll target the lows. Even maybe these first sections here, so it's a bit safer, but that's still a nice 50 or pip move that'll be there. So definitely worth keeping an eye on the Aussie Chuff. There isn't much else been of interest. Pound yen, this just looks like it's pulling back down to this 147 level, which we've been hovering around for so long, and there's a little bit of a sweet spot. So any pullbacks down to there could provide an opportunity for longs. But other than that, dollar SGD was a little bit of interest because we pulled back up and rejected here, but the lower time frames are just got a bit more moving to do, really. You could try the short here with the stop above the highs. It's just it's not a great deal of room. It's only 10 pips to there, so not really enough room. It might be better, like the other trade, waiting for the 4 hour break, retest, and then continuation. That'd be a very nice trade. and then we can take that down to the daily 20, which would give us a bit better. That'd be a bit of a better move. So again, something to keep an eye on there. Yen dollar yen pushed up quite nicely today. Oh, it's broken back below this. So I had a look at this earlier, and it was above. So one that's worth keeping an eye on. Other than that, nothing too exciting. Just a lot of volatility in gold, which we like to see. So any questions or anything anyone else wants to have a very quick look at before I go through making a bit of a watch list, or any just questions in general, or anything you want us to look at? Any questions, guys? Any queries or just anything else? Dave, anything while we're through? Okay, well, we looked at those. So the dollar, massively bearish, and you can see what this is today's candle, smash back on through. Reason for that is weak PMI. There's also talks of Trump increasing the tariffs at no China deal, which is not good news for the dollar because it doesn't look like a deal is going to happen. So very likely it's just going to continue to the downside, and why there is some increased volume in the safe havens like gold and the yen. The Dow massively pushed down as we expect. The other indices have been pulled down with it, just due to uncertainty. Again, like I say, money will just flow from indices and currencies to the safe havens. As touched below this 20, so wondering if we'll get to see the daily 50. I mean, the thing with the Dow is if you didn't have to have your stop so wide, I would absolutely love to try and take that short, but yeah, much as I think it will, technically I think the next stop is here, which lines up the daily 50. It's really is a risk reward is just not there. It's a sort of 1-to-1, but a 400 pip 1-to-1. So I don't really want to be risking that. The DAX Germany phase done pretty much the same thing, but it's a lot closer to that 50, so I wouldn't want to be caught out there. And then the FTSE hasn't sunk too much in comparison to the others, but it was actually on a bit of a bullish run this morning, which is why it doesn't look as bad. But now that it's back below there, I mean, we could very well see this 7,200 level come back into play, which gets targeted quite a lot, as you can see. Plenty of action there. But yeah, I mean, ones to watch. If you trade the indices and they're one of your favourites, then you've got some good downside targets, but not one for me right now. The Aussies have had a good day. I've got some Aussie news tomorrow as well, so just be wary of that. I'll show you the news we've got tomorrow. Just Aussie, I think, actually. Cash rates and something else. So yeah, cash rate and rate statement, which by the time we wake up will be done and dusted. So we'll see. But I'm guessing by looking at these charts that people are favouring positive news. So but that is the case. Yeah, it sort of had a nice push up, engulfing. It could be trade here. The only thing with this one is it's against the safe haven, and frankly, I would rather I'd rather not trade against the yen right now. But yeah, nonetheless, technically, it's sort of looking good for a long. Aussie dollar, sort of similar story, but it's sat at the daily 50. So you really, I'd want to be looking to take this short, but because the dollar's looking weak, it favours along. But instead of jumping in you know, we'll see what happens tomorrow. If it does break above, then brilliant. But we really have taken out a lot of trading today, and so it's a good sign for the upside. But look at this, just very overextended. I mean, this could be worth sort of taking a short for the near term, but I just wouldn't want to be caught on the wrong side of it. But it definitely does need a little pullback, and then maybe we're going to see that larger push to the upside. Now, it's done well against the New Zealand dollar. Euro's been a bit weak today. So against the pound, you know, as much as it's the most bullish one on the euros, it's essentially hit the 20 and not managed to get past it. So it could just be continuation to the downside. Dollar looks strong, obviously because of the weakness we've seen earlier. NZD has just been strong overall today. Euro was even a bearish one, but this is something we discussed last week. This trade, it's pushed up, it's hovered around, and I instinctively I just see this pushing up. But yeah, nonetheless, it's tested the 50 and has, you know, pushed back up, so it does tell me we should be looking at upside. But I mean, if you look at this, it's broken down, it's retesting, and may just continue down. So yeah, very mixed signals. Not one I want to be caught on the wrong side of. Okay, Euro yen, a bit similar to the Aussie yen, but again, I don't. It's conflicting because of the strength there. I don't really want to be against the yen. Pound yen, we looked at pound dollar. Excuse me, has had a nice sort of pull back and push back up, but nothing really of interest. I mean, just like dollar, I expect it to prove strong against the dollar at the moment, but yeah, it's not one I'm trading. Seeing these kind of engulfing candles, I'd expect to see more downside tomorrow, but may just be heading to the 20 before turning around. And we've seen and discussed, I think this 140.7 level could be a nice potential long, and this is reacting the way you'd expect to stronger safe havens. But yeah, pulling down now to the 4-hour 50 and saying it'd be worth trying a long from there. I mean, you could do a 20 pip stop and see, but you know, I think there's just more opportunity in gold, and I'd rather be sort of focusing there in honesty. You know, a big bearish dollar. Let's see. I mean, you never know tomorrow where this is pulling back now. You may just see it test tomorrow, turn around and carry on going. Although, you know, I do favour this to the downside. I mean, you know, it's just had a run, pulled up, had another run, pushed to the upside, but it can very easily just break back down, retest, and carry on going. So we'll see tomorrow. Mondays are always a funny day anyway. Yeah, dollar chapter's really taken that beating today. The dollar SGD we discussed. Still look at lower time frames on the dollar chart, because maybe that we get a nice pullback to the 20, lines up with a bit of horizontal resistance, turn support, and could push up through that 200. But it's nice and bullish. What's going on here? So, yeah, not having nice bullish runs. You got, you know, Nice push up, pull back, not broken down, big push up. 2 could be the next wave, which could be a big one. 20 certainly holding, which is a good sign, and 50 certainly is as well, and has done for the last week odd. So New Zealand dollar chuck looking good. If it can break on through that 200, it should line up somewhere around the weekly 20. Oh, the weekly 50, sorry. Do get a nice break above that, and an incredibly good move. But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You could see another push to the downside back to the lows on the weekly. So certainly mixed signals, especially against the higher time frames. Just looking strong. Looking strong, that NZD. It's had a very good day. That's all what you'd expect. I mean, especially against the caddy looking from here. Push back above, pull back, push, pull back, push, consolidation and continuation. And they're all hovering around daily 200s. Caddy's not had a good one. This was a level we discussed last time as well. There's some key sort of support and resistance. It did hold above though, and sort of would have expected to see this push to the upside, but see today in the safe havens has got investors interested there a bit more so. So Caddy suffered. Excuse me. And it gets a chop, another sort of safe haven, and obviously not done so well against the NZD that's been major strong. Gold futures and S&P breaking down to there. So yeah, there's plenty to look at, plenty of potential trades. Any questions, guys, on or anything you saw just on what we've gone through there, or anything you want me to go back and break down? Alright, well, there's 5 minutes to do it. The only thing I don't like about this gold right now is this. Oh, look at that! Missed that little entry on the 50. It's just that it has really slowed down. This may now tickle down and push lower, which lower the better. You're not going to complain about that. 1460, we get that. I'll certainly be buying. It's just that daily 20 that concerns me. Just not pushed above, but the day's not over yet. Have you guys got on sort of following the sort of group with some of the trades and stuff? I mean, hopefully what I'm trying to do with that is just so you guys can see when I'm sort of entering and stuff, so that you might be able to look at that and work out why, rather than sort of giving the whole game away. So I'm not a signal provider. I don't want to be giving signals, but if it helps you guys work out how and why I'm entering, and that's mission accomplished. I mean, is it helping? As you're saying, I might not have the time always to check as and when I'm say that I'm entering a trade. Hopefully it's helping. Okay, good. I'm glad. That's all we're trying to achieve. And at least you can see where the transparency is. We don't win them all. When we have a good run, we have a good run. You can never expect to win all trades, and hopefully by me being transparent and everyone seeing, exactly what I do win and lose. It will help you to learning a bit more of how and why it's done, and that you've got to take the losses with the wins. I'm afraid. As I say, you have your good weeks and your bad weeks, and your okay weeks. But yeah, hopefully that's helping as well. Anyway, and I've heard the siren as someone just joined us. Hey, Alessandro, you managed to make it in. How you doing? You well? Good. Good. I'm glad, Dave. I know probably need to spend a little bit of time one-on-one just to help with some of the bits that I'm sure sort of going out the other. I try and remember. No, good stuff, Alessandro. Well, a day not traded is a day that no money is lost, so there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's better not to trade than to trade and lose, that's for sure. Yeah, Friday was a great day, and today even better for me. So it's been a good couple of days on gold. Just because we've done a sort of full breakdown and gone through sort of kind of watch list, I'll breeze back over gold slightly. I know this morning was a little bit out of the norm for my entries. Obviously, we normally like to see the 20 above the 50 and the 200 and wait for the pullbacks to it. And my entry sort of around here, around 54 mark, was because of this oversold on the RSI. Because of this reversal candle, and I just instinctively wanted to see a push to the upside, which is why I held it through the 20s and the 50s instead of just coming out at 20 or waiting, because I saw from how gold reacted at these levels last week that it was certainly worth the risk reward to go for the long, and then got back in when we had this sort of load of momentum that flew in. I mean, it could have, instead of me just taking sort of 30 odd pips, I could have been taking 20 in and out, 20 in and out, 20 in and out. But yeah, I just was waiting to see a sort of hold above the sort of 65 mark where this reached up past it, but didn't hold. And this was sort of discussing where price is now, because it sort of found a ceiling, not really pushing up, and that ceiling is actually the daily 20. So we're just struggling to. Sorry, it's not the daily 20. Where is it? Weekly 20. Just struggling to break up through it and hold above. So it's obviously the start of the week. We've had the sort of spike downwards after last week, and I sort of expect to see a nice push upwards. So yeah, just want to see that hold. Hopefully in the morning when we wake up, it's pushed above, maybe not the daily 20, because I'd like to catch that move. But holding above 64, 65, and we can take it up to sort of 70. 67 is the daily 20. So we'll have to see how it's acting in the morning. But yeah, certainly want to try and catch some of that move. The only thing that I'm sort of disliking now at the moment is obviously it has broken down a little bit. Hasn't pushed up above, and it's slowing down. Pushed to the 50, rejected, pushed back up, but we're now back seeing this level. So maybe the 64 is going to sort of cap it for now. But that's good. If we do get a breakdown, I'll be looking to buy from the sort of 1460 level. Yeah, not rushing in. Good start to the week and good start to the month, and that's how we want to keep it. Preserve that capital. So we'll see how it plays out for the morning, but otherwise not bad. The other sort of pairs you had of interest was it Chuck? I think it was. Yep, where we've sort of broken down out of this channel that we looked at last week. I want to see the 4-hour breakdown and retest so we really know the intention. Now, it has just broken below and sort of retested the 200 and the 50 and the 20 here at the moment, but I would like to see it come back down to this sort of lows here, 67500, and then push up to the 4-hour 50, and then look for a short to bring it to the lows really. Nice 50, 60 pip trade there. So we'll see how that plays out. And dollar SGD, pound yen we had a brief look at. This I just see coming back to this level of the 140.7 odd. Where you can see on the daily, it's certainly acting as the resistance, and first time that will be retested as support, very likely. So we'll see how it holds up. If it does, then great, but potentially not. It was money certainly jumping in the safe havens thanks to Trump and well, threatening to increase tariffs, etc. And the dollar SGD is here where we've sort of reversed away from here, and I expect we might just break on back down. But again, not looking at the 1 hour because it's all a bit muddled. I want to see the 4-hour breakdown. I want to see the 4-hour breakdown below, retest and continue. That will then be a nice short and a trade of interest at that point. But as always, the main focus on gold. Has there been anything else that you've seen, Alexandro, or anything else you're taking an interest in the markets? And we've got dollar news this week, so the sort of NFP Friday, and also the ADP employment on Wednesday. Tomorrow's only the Aussie to worry about, but yeah, we've got a bit of dollar news to consider. And I do want to say something as well. Good work on the trading, because I know we've sort of already touched on it in the group, but the fact that you managed to come out of your other trades before they'd sunk, and took some profit on gold, and looking at some nice profit and some nice trading, is very good work. And that is the level that everyone sort of hopes to get to, and it can certainly be reached with a bit of consistency and a bit of dedication. Yeah, I mean, overall, of course, we can hope for the upside, but why give the profits back to the markets? Take them, take the profits. If you're a day trader, then they all add up, and there's so many times that the markets will go up and around and test everything, and several times, and give you plenty of opportunities to get in and out. So when you see the profit, you've got to take. We've done the exercises in the past where we've just sort of left it and let it run, and overall, coming in and out of the market is certainly more profitable. But good work nonetheless, and so if it continues, and yeah, certainly, once we get this vote out the way in 10 days' time, with the pound, we'll certainly see what's going on. Get some direction, hopefully, in the market, but so far it's all taken as bullish. Still box range forming. Just want to see. I do expect a push up, really do. I mean, it's just been consolidated, being squeezed, so I expect a push up, but just want to seeing it actually start happening. That 50 would have been a nice entry, though. About 62. Yeah, could have had a nice 20 pip stop, really. There's certainly a funny old market at the moment, say just due to a lot of uncertainty, and fundamental factors. I mean, like you look at these indices, it's been an awful day for equities, and just very much likely to continue tomorrow. But yeah, uncertainty and poor figures across the board certainly been cause for the safe havens such as gold and yen. Yeah, I mean, low is good too. In terms of an entry point, the reason I say 1460 is just because we've got this the 5-minute 200, which should be the 1 hour 50 there or thereabouts. Yep. And if it does pull back down to there, that'd be incredible. I sort of don't expect it to. Looking at this, I mean, we get that 20 crossover, maybe pull back to it. So maybe 61, 62 is going to be a good entry. The lower the better, obviously, but I'll be quite happy with 60 and stops below the lows, and just keep targeting a little bit higher. Of course, if we do get a break much lower, then certainly be looking to take advantage of it. I mean, anywhere back down around 54, 55, I'd be quite happy to go along with. Yeah. I mean, I'm quite happy with how things are going to just put the stops below the lows here. If you want to be really safe, you can put them sort of 48, 49. And target much higher, because if we do get back to sort of 60, much as it's a wide stop, it's also a wide target. We could be looking back up to the highs. We could be looking 1500s. It's the end of the year, and it could very much be a good run. I think this 1480 is really going to come back into play at some point. Just want to see us get a nice little push. It's got to hold above 65. Start holding above 65, and we'll get the push up. I mean, you've got 60, 67 here. There's a daily 20, which will form a kind of resistance. But yeah, in terms of the weekly, where it's stuck at the moment on the 20, we hold above that, then we're away up to 80s. If you wake up in the morning and we're at 70s, wait for an entry, and get it long. It could do 200 pips a day. I mean, look how consolidated it's been. I mean, look at these other candles. I mean, they're monstrous. There will be plenty more volume. The only thing I really don't like is just that we've had this big breakdown and then consolidation. And if I was looking at that on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, I'd probably be thinking it's actually going to drop another leg and drop down lower, which is totally possible. But it's just every time we get near this sort of 50 to 55 region, it gets spiked straight back up, and that certainly gives me a bit of confidence in the longs. So, but just be aware of it. Just be aware. None of us know exactly what way it's going to go. So trade what we see. We're just going to have another stab at 65 anyway. See if we can get a hold. Just remember, you don't need to rush into trades, guys. I was just speaking to someone about this earlier on, the old FOMO, and that was his biggest problem. Because even though it knew where the direction was going, end up just giving pips away because they'd put a stop loss, which would get hit, and then they'd get back in lower, and it would go up to their original target. But they're just getting in at the very wrong time. So patience is key. You will always pull back and turn around. Yeah. We got that sort of 67 area. I mean, even looking here on the 4 hour, we've got a few places where it's sort of been resistance and support. But yeah, we expect to push up. In 74 would be a lovely target. I mean, you've got the tops here, which formed sort of resistance. Lines up to 200. That's a 100 pips from where it is. Another lovely move. Have to keep an eye. Let's see if these indices showing any sign of recoveries. And only an hour left on this 4-hour candle. Obviously oversold. The Dow, expect the DAX is the same, pretty much. So yeah, I mean maybe we could see a pullback here for 200 pips. Yeah. The only thing is we're getting this consolidation, it may drop from there. Very oversold. See what the 5 minutes is doing. Yeah, just sort of found a fall there, 27,800. Let's see if it just smashes on down though. This is the problem with, it's showing downside, so you don't want to be caught out in the wrong direction. Sometimes the risk reward is there. Excuse me. It's the 15 minutes really sideways, so okay, might just get a quick push up and then carry on down. Wow, the Dow, how much has that dropped today? 28132. Basically 300 pips. That has dropped 300 smackers. She really moves. But as I mentioned earlier, maybe we'll just see it push back up from here. Well, I sort of highly doubt it because of the bad figures, but a run down to this level would be great. 27.6. A good long entry. Gold reversed away from that higher region. Just needs to push up and hold above. We'll get there. So anything else that you guys want to discuss? Anything about your own tradings or just market questions? Any emotions or trading sticky points you've been having or want to break down? Quick see how they're moving along. Apparently it may tick up to the 1.12. That was there. Bit of support, maybe turn resistance. Yeah, I must admit, I do try and have a bit of time away. In fact, the last couple of years, I pretty much just bought gold and left it, and it's done me quite well. I mean, not she just gone the year before. It was monstrous. Did like 700 pips. It moved a hell of a lot. I mean, I thought, let's just go and have a look. and I'll show you. But it was yeah, it was very good. Yeah, this one 1246 up to 1303 in December, and then carry on into January up to 1365. I got 700 pips out of that move, which was phenomenal. Paid for Christmas, put it that way. And then again, December we had. I didn't catch as much actually this year, just gone, but the lows were 1221, so 600 odd. But I think from memory, actually come out on the 50 or something. It could have been left again. I think I know January. I didn't hold it into January. I closed out, but I should have done. And you can look at this monthly. It's a perfect entry there for the higher time frames for the third leg up. So we know this is sort of leg 4 of the pullback, and then 5 will be coming for another push to the upside. So this was 1, 2, 3, and then started back up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and maybe this will be the start of the back up, because it did 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. This could be the candle. We're in December, but if you look, you've got that December bullish. Got a lot. The December before that bullish. The December before that not so much, but it did turn around in January. It was bullish. Sort of same again the year prior to that. December before that bullish. December before that not so much. So in recent years, seasonally good. January is always very seasonally good for oil and gas. Yeah, I mean, I always count the waves, so that we don't want to be trying to go long if it looks like it's pulling back, especially on the higher time frames. This is where we get the runs and the trends. But when you see, like we would on the 5-minute, a push up, a pullback, and then a big push up comes, and if you can mimic that across all the time frames. It doesn't just need to be the 5-minute. When you see it on a monthly or a weekly or a daily, that's when you're really going to make some money if that comes in. And you can leave it for those long terms. I must admit, where I used to, because I was used to equities, and then recently I've turned it back down to being sort of just day trading. But you can keep your bias, which is like at the moment, we've got a bullish bias on gold, and therefore keep buying the pullback. So, looking in this, if we just take a look at these months, between May this year, look on the weeklies, you can just, when you see a pullback, just keep buying. I mean, this was the move. So pushed up, pulled back, and then look, this is where the longs came in. Weekly, there was obviously no real visible pullbacks there, but although you could have gone long here, I know I was going long throughout that period. I think we was all actually trading together around that time. I think it was just a little after that we started. But you look at these dailies again here. Back to the 20s. In fact, I remember this trade. Took it from down there back up to the highs. There were some good entries. I think this one was one missed actually from memory. But yeah, there's plenty of opportunities. If you go on the 4 hours, you'll see even more. But if you've got that long, you've got the bias of going long, just got to keep buying the pullbacks. When it went like we've been doing in the last couple of days, even though it's broken down below the sort of EMAs, because the higher time ranges are so bullish, that's just giving you the bombs. It's giving you really good entries and opportunities to get in. So take the longs. Even if you're doing sort of 20 to 40 pips each time, but you get 10 out of it. It's 400 pips, 200 to 400 pips total, which isn't to be sniffed at. My aim, I would absolutely love to be able to capture 200, to profit 250 pips a week, which is more than I'm doing. I'm probably between 100 and 150. Obviously, some weeks like last week was was a really good week. So 500 pips for today is great, but I'm sure I'll give some back. If I can hit 200, I'll be overwhelmed this week, and I'm going to try this month to get to 250. But yeah, I mean, it is more than I've ever sort of done pip wise consistently. But I do think it's achievable. So yeah, that's my sort of own targets and ambitions. What I want to try and get to, and hopefully I'll get to it just with gold. I will see. As I say, I've got my eye on a couple of other pairs. What about you guys? Any trading goals and objectives which we can, let's talk about how you're going to get there. $250 pips a week is 1,000 pips a month. Aim high or don't aim at all, as they say. The biggest and best months I've ever had has been the Decembers by just holding gold. In honesty, I've never hit that kind of size any other times. I think I've had some 500 pip months and stuff like that, but it doesn't happen every month. As I say, typically between probably 400 and 500, I guess, is big consistent. Okay, well that's a good thing. Put it this way, at least you know that. So one of the biggest problems I see with most traders is they won't just put their hand up for help or just say that that's wrong or I need to work on this. Unfortunately, to be a good trader, you have to have conviction. You have to believe in yourself and what you're doing. No matter what. But you do have to stick to the rules, and you've got to write them yourself. A lot of the time. It's no good me giving you rules that if you don't like, you're not going to stick to. So it has to be done in your own camp. But that is a good thing. You're sort of recognising that and working out what works for you. Because as soon as you do, I can assure you that is when you really will see some massive improvements. Because it will just stick with you. It will resonate, and you won't need to. I used to know people who would stick up like a piece of paper that they'd have to remind themselves of a checklist every trade. I mean, if you're doing that, it's just not natural, and you're sort of fighting against it. So yeah, try and keep to what sits well with you and what you're happy with, and something that when you just look, you can say, what, that ticks my boxes, I'm going for it. And then just pull the trigger. That can sometimes be the hardest part for some people. But yeah, I think certainly doing the right thing. And if you want anyone to give you any opinion on any rules you may set, feel free to ask. And it's certainly important to have them, no matter what. Well, we've got things going a little quiet. I haven't had that push and hold above 165 yet, so you're watching intently. Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, any last questions or anything you want to go over before we call it a night? Okie dokie. Well, yeah, I'll certainly keep trying to tell you guys what I'm seeing, and as of when I'll get any more trades. So hopefully it will still it'll keep helping anyway. That's all we're trying to achieve. But yeah, gold is always top of my list. Yeah, Kev, that's no worries. Any questions, you just let me know. Oh, platform's having a moment. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I say, all I'm trying to achieve is help you guys see when and what I'm doing, just so you can then look at the charts and try and work out when I'm what's making me do that. What am I seeing? Because I could see one thing, you could see another, but we could both have the same entry and the same result. It doesn't mean that we have to see exactly the same. But hopefully it's helping by me doing so. And yeah, December typically is an interesting month. Like I say, from my experience the last couple of years, it's definitely been favouring of gold and safe havens, because the markets have seemed to go quieter. I think years ago people probably worked a lot more, worked up to the holidays, and nowadays I think people do take a bigger break. And therefore, instead of seeing fluctuations in currencies, etc., where people are travelling, but actually causing those moves in currencies, they will put their money into gold and the safe havens to let it try and sort of sit. So yeah, it's definitely one to yeah. And we've got the election, of course, so it's definitely going to be some momentum when that happens. Yeah, Dave, that's no worries. You let me know, and I will see you then. But okay, guys. Well, thank you very much, and have a good evening, and I'll catch you on the chat. See you soon.